Hello and welcome to the home of the Ghost Owl as we continue on our look at weapons and armour. We looked at all the close combat weapons before for Warhammer The Old World in the rulebook. These are the generic weapons, and now we're going to be looking at those missile weapons and also armour. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So first up is the longbow, typically seen on Bretonnian peasants, for example. Range of 30 inches, which is incredibly nice. It's got a strength of 3, an AP of 0. Special rules, however, is Armour Bane 1 and Volley Fire. I really like the longbows. It's got great range. Lack of AP, kind of made up for. You've got that Armour Bane, the ability to Volley Fire, so you're not always going to be stuck in having to have these really long, drawn-out units to get the most archers firing. Volley fire combined with a hill as well could be absolutely awesome. So yeah, longbows. I think I really quite like them. I think longbows are a really, really nice missile weapon. Look at the short bow here. We've got range 18 inches, strength 3, AP of 0. Special is quick shot and volley fire. So short bow, pretty much the same as the longbow with the reduced range. The quick shot allowing you to stand and shoot just a charge reaction regardless of range, for example. So short bow's okay, 18-inch range though. I mean, if you've got 18-inch range, you have to be careful of cavalry or flying units. They could cross that distance by movement and a charge pretty easily. So how much value we're going to get out of the short bows is, I think, the question is how long are they going to be able to keep shooting before they get engaged in combat with a range of 18 compared to that of the longbow. And I think that's the consideration with the short bow there at 18 inches. The war bow there, range 24 inches, which is pretty that's kind of a standard shooting range, right, in Warhammer games. Strength as the user, AP of 0, and special rules volley fire. So that's kind of like it sits in between, right, in terms of the longbow and the short bow. I think that what I like about the longbow over them all is that Armour Bane combined with the volley fire. The warbow doesn't really offer you anything over the longbow. At least the short bow has quick shot. So the warbow is just kind of like, 24-inch range bow, but yeah, the longbow is really nice. The short bow at least has the benefit of quick shot. The warbow doesn't seem to offer that much at all. Right, handgun wise though, range 24 inches, strength 4, AP -1. So now you're into something really quite interesting. Special rules, Armour Bane 1 as well, so that's up to AP -2. So ability to deal with armor, even something like full plate armor, which has you on a 4+ save, or heavy armor and shield on a 4+ save. Nice. The downside is ponderous. So, so this is going to give you that extra minus modifier for moving and shooting. That's going to be a problem. So units with handguns are going to have very little mobility in the game. And a 24-inch range, I mean, it's okay, but you got to think it's probably reasonably easy to move around, depending on obviously the scenario you're playing and everything else. But that ability to kind of stay out of range, and if you sit at 25 or 26 inches, they have to move to get into range. That instantly puts them at a -2 move and shoot. So handguns, I mean, it's got nice strength, reasonable range, obviously great AP, especially with the Armour Bane there, but that ponderous really reduces their mobility. And I think, depending on the armor you're playing, is that a problem or not? I do like my mobility, so the handgun with that ponderous rule is a little bit of a concern. Pistol, so range of 12 inches, strength 4, AP -1. Armour Bane and quick shot. So pistols actually seem quite nice. Obviously the downside is the range. How many shots of pistols are you going to get in a game with a range of 12 inches? Maybe not that many, particularly given that you're not shooting into combats, right? So that's something to remember. So again, it's just a case of if you're paying points to have it, how many shots are you getting off with it in 5 turns? 2? Is the points you pay for that worth 2 strength 4 AP -1 shots? Maybe. And if you get charged with a quick shot, you can stand and shoot with it, right? But yeah, same with the brace of pistols. The downside with the brace of pistols below, it's the same as the one above, except it has 2 profiles because it can be used in combat. But the brace of pistols shooting, you've got the multiple shots too. The downside with the multiple shots, though, of course, is you get the -1 to hit modifier with the second shot. In combat, you get an extra attack +1, but you do require 2 hands. So maybe on certain models, I can see the brace of pistols. The pistol on its own, not so sure about. Not so sure about, unless the unit has ways to move and shoot or do something funky like that, could be interesting. And the same with the brace of pistols. I think the brace of pistols offers a little bit more in with the combat, the extra attack. And probably a model that's using a brace of pistols probably doesn't have an option for a shield anyway, given the type of model it is. But yeah, the range is the thing. Like I say, you're paying for it, unless the unit has a lot of rules to allow you to be very mobile, to sort of move into range, shoot, maybe move out or do something like that, then you got to think, how many shots am I getting for the points I'm paying? And at 12 inches, it wouldn't seem like you're getting that many. So repeater handgun, that's range 24, strength 4, AP -1. So you got the same issues here as the handgun in terms of it's ponderous. So moving and shooting's out. And the whole issue is multiple shots now. So multiple shots. So the first shot is at the ballistic skill. And then the second shot's going to be at a -1 modifier. And the third shot's going to be at a -2 modifier. Yeah. You're going to want a lot of shots to make that count. So weapons with multiple shots now, I don't know. Missile weapons overall seem to be pretty toned down in this edition. That's just gut feel. I can't evidence that, but gut feel feels like missile weapons aren't that going to be that dominant. And the multiple shots just doesn't seem to have the value with those minus modifiers. Given you're probably, you're probably paying the points to have those extra shots, right? So yeah, not sold on particularly multiple shots 3. That third shot, -2 to hit. Is that really that valuable? Repeater pistol, same deal, and with only 12 inches. So that for me is even worse than the repeater handgun. At least the repeater handgun, you got 24 inches on it. So the quick shot, great stand and shoot, but yeah, minus, but the shooting there, yeah, again, multiple shots, minus modifiers. Not ideal. Right, let's take a look at crossbows. So range 30 inches, so the range is good, strength is good, armor bane 2, so they normally have an AP of nothing, but 6s to wound, you get -2 AP. Crossbows look pretty nice. The ponderous is a problem. So it's basically like, it's kind of a bit like the handgun, but it's 30 inches. And yeah, you don't get the basic AP -1, but you do get the armor bane 2, right? So it's not quite as good as handguns at dealing with armor. It's definitely an in-between. It's kind of, this is the in-between a handgun and a bow, right? Which is crossbow, so it kind of makes sense. But no, I think I actually prefer the crossbow over the handgun. And I'll tell you the reason why. That 30 inches combined with ponderous. 30 inches, that, I know it's only 6 extra inches, but that can be a big deal when your mobility is massively reduced. So crossbows seem pretty nice. Repeater crossbow, you see that there, that's typical of something like the Dark Elves. So they've got a 24-inch range again, you've got a strength of 3 AP minus. So the strength of the repeater crossbow is down. You get an armor bane of 1 and multiple shots 2. I don't like it. I'd rather have a normal crossbow. I'd rather take the extra range, the extra strength, and the extra armor bane over having over having an extra shot at a -1 to hit and ponderous. So repeater crossbow gets a bit more mobility, and it gets that extra shot at a -1 modifier. I think I'd rather have a basic crossbow, personally. If it was a strength 4 with armor bane 1 and multiple shots, that would be different. But a strength 3, I'd rather have a 30-inch strength 4 crossbow that doesn't move as much. And then the repeater handbow. Was that something like maybe the handbows that you see on Dark Riders or Dark Elf Corsairs? 12-inch range, strength 3, multiple shots 2, quick shot. See, now the repeater handbow with the multiple shots and quick shot at 12 inches, might be alright on something like a unit of Dark Elf Corsairs because they want to get in combat anyway. And if you're going to be able to stand and shoot reaction or shoot before you charge, just that extra damage could be quite nice. And of course, stand and shoot casualties do count towards a combat result. So I'm thinking the repeater handbow there could be interesting. The multiple shots are just giving you that more options to hit. So even though it's getting its -1 modifier. But yeah, so the repeater handbow on something like the Corsairs I could see on a unit that's just kind of running around trying to evade combat. The thing is, are you going to get enough shots? It definitely seems like with the missile weapons, it's going to be about volume of shots. So if I think of missile cavalry, don't generally have many models. Yeah, they're mobile. They can move around the board. They can threaten war machines. They can threaten flanks. But if you're only getting 8 or 10 shots, and often you're getting minus modifiers to hit, doesn't seem like it's going to do very much. And maybe got more value elsewhere. Just kind of what I'm thinking. So brace of repeater handbows, yeah, pretty much the same, but multiple shots for, oof, you're not going to be hitting much with those back end shots. Throwing weapons, we got Skaven ninjas, range of 9, strength as the user, AP, again multiple shots too, move and shoot and quick shot. See, the move and shoot is where it makes it quite nice, the throwing weapon. So even though it's a 9-inch, you move and shoot, you quick shot, multiple shots, actually probably not that bad. Javelin that you get with the skinks, again, move and shoot, quick shot, range 12. Again, quite like that. The fact that you've got these maybe shorter range, but if you compare that to something like the pistols, right, they're not move and shoot. Right, they've just got the quick shot. So having the javelin and the throwing weapon, yes, they've got that reduced range, but that move and shoot and combined with the quick shot and say with the throwing weapon having multiple shots, actually quite nice. So javelins and throwing weapons I actually quite like. A sling. So again, Skaven style weapon, 18 inches, strength 3, AP minus, multiple shots 2. It's okay. Again, you think about that compared to what we saw with the repeater crossbow, which is 24 inches on that. Depends how much, again, you're paying for the weapon, but yeah, 18 inches, strength 3, AP minus. I mean, okay against light armor, I guess. You're not having to deal with heavy armor, but there's multiple shots. Again, the -1 to hit on that second shot. And at 18 inches, how many shots are you going to get off? Cavalry will be on you, flyers will be on you pretty damn quick. So, yeah, how many shots? Not convinced of the value of the slings there, but the throwing weapon, the javelins with the move and shoot could be quite nice. Okay, then on to throwing axes. So throwing axe is another interesting one. It's 9-inch range. You get a strength plus the user +1, AP minus, but you get special rules quick shot. This is where I'd rather have a throwing weapon or a javelin, right? Because you've got the move and shoot. All you've got here is a 9-inch weapon with quick shot. So again, unless you've got a unit that is designed to be in combat and is either using this weapon as a precursor to a charge or as a stand and shoot charge reaction before wanting to be in combat, okay, I kind of could understand it if you want to pay the points for that as value. But outside of that, not much. Armor. So light armor 6+, heavy armor 5+, full plate armor is 4+. Makes sense, nice and easy. A model with no armor is considered to have an armor value of 7+. So that's important for when you have shields. And regardless of equipment, a model can never ever have an armor value better than 2+, which means you always fail on a 1, right? So if you have a shield, though, you improve the armor value by 1. A model with no armor and a shield gets 6+. You get a 7+ with save with no armor. So you add the shield, which improves it by 1. You get a 6+ save. If a model uses a weapon that requires 2 hands, you cannot use a shield in combat. So you can still use your shield in shooting to buff your armor save, but you cannot use it in combat. I think there are certain scenarios where you go, if a unit has a 2-handed weapon, you don't really want a shield, right? You don't really want to pay the points just to have some better save in shooting when shooting feels a little bit toned down. But if your unit has the ability to have shield wall, which does require you to have shields, shield wall, I quite like that as a rule. So shield wall, paying for shields to get a shield wall ability could be quite nice. So I think there are cases there where it has value. Barding, so barding goes on the horse. We've got a Bretonnian horse there. Typically Bretonnian horses are barded, which is horse armor. That improves the armor value by 1. Wizards, however, they cannot wear armor, and if they do, they cannot cast or dispel, and that applies to all armor and shields. Doesn't matter if they're magical or otherwise. They just cannot wear it unless there's a rule that says wizards can wear this armor and still do their things, right? And there are some cases of that. But it doesn't include barding. So a wizard can still have barding, no problem, because the barding is actually worn by their mount, not by them. And there you go. That brings us to the end of weapons and armor. Again, like the combat weapons, let me know what you guys think about missile weapons. Do you feel that missile weapons have been toned down a bit? Ones that stick out in my mind, longbows and basic crossbows seem pretty nice. I do like the potential of throwing weapons and javelins with the move and shoot as well. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. And with that in mind, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And also let me know why you gave it a thumbs down in the comments down below as well. And if you want to see more of this content, then please hit that subscribe button. It's totally free for you to do. Means a lot for me. So thank you for that in advance. More content still to come. Plenty of content still to come, but we're coming to the back end now of the main rulebook, where we're starting to get into things like magical laws, magic weapons, and all that sort of stuff as well. But next up will be war machines. You've been watching The Ghost Owl. I'll see you very soon.